we're going to go ahead and get started. Typically, when you start talking about higher education, going to college, you probably heard about a little bit about financial aid, college education, choosing a major, or choosing a school, or whatever the case may be. But we're going to step back from that for a second, and we're going to talk about higher education types. Now, this is important because what each and every student needs to do before they choose a college, before they choose a major, is they need to understand exactly where they want to be and what they want to do for the duration of their life. Now, we have all heard the norm, you're about to embark on the grandest journey that you have ever embarked on in your life. You're about to make decisions that's paramount, and take your time, get counsel, and make the decision that's best for you. Your future depends on it. But we're going to eradicate everything and just focus on the fact that your future depends on it. A lot of times when people start talking about certificates and degrees, they want to know, like, why is this important? It is important because before you choose a major and before you go to school for something, you need to understand and identify what it is that you want to do for the duration of your lifetime, and not necessarily choose a school or a particular major based off the likeness of your friends, or based off something that somebody told you about a particular field that you like, and all of a sudden you want to do it because of something that somebody else said or something somebody else told you. And there's a reason why over 80% of college freshmen change their major. They change their major because they get into the major and they realize, oh, I didn't know that this was entailed that. I didn't know that I had to do all of this. I'll tell you about a personal story that I know about an individual. It was a young lady who thought she wanted to be a nurse. She had like a 3.8 GPA in nursing, and she started doing her clinicals, and she said, oh, I can do this. But she got to the point, it was 2 years after she started school, that she had to do something, and something dealing with blood, and she realized at that particular time that she did not want to be a nurse. But her whole life, all she did was hear people talk about the nursing field and how she wanted to be a nurse. So how could it have been prevented? It could have been prevented if she actually talked to somebody that actually could have broken down everything that she wanted to do, that she had to do in that particular field. Now, there are some nurses that don't have to necessarily deal with blood, but the field that she had chosen, the field that she thought she wanted to do, they had to deal with blood. So it's very important that you understand that. So we're going to be talking about certificates and degrees. And what's the difference between the certificate and a degree will actually be the length of school that is required to complete that particular certificate or degree. Certificates or degrees are a way that an institution can say, hey, a student have met the requirements to obtain this certificate or degree. And with that, a student have this level of education, or should have this level of education. You will often hear people say, hey, make sure you go to college and get a degree because a degree will add value to you. But I beg to differ. That is not 100% true. The only way a degree adds value to you is if you get a degree in the field that you want to work in. If I go get a degree in poultry science, but I want to be a physical therapist, that degree does not necessarily add value to what I want to do in the long run. So when I start talking about understanding that, and hopefully by the end of this, each and every one of us will be able to say, hey, this is what I want to do. I understand there are colleges that's popular. I understand that there's colleges that everybody is going to. I understand there's colleges that they do this more, or they do this better than this college, so I'm gonna go to this college. But at the end of the day, does that college offer what you want to do for the duration of your life? So what are the type of certificates? The type of certificates are certificates of proficiency as well as technical certificates. Now, there are a lot of different types of certificates, but we're going to dive into the differences between all of them. Now, a certificate of proficiency is awarded to students who demonstrate a mastery of skills or knowledge in specified performance standards as defined by the institution. Typically, certificates of proficiencies are 1 year or less, 6 months or less, and they require minimum class time to complete. When you start talking about technical certificates, which is awarded to individuals who successfully complete 1 year of a planned program of class as well as laboratory work by a higher education or a college. And technical certificates generally last about a year, 12 months or something like that. But if you want to get a technical certificate, you can start with a certificate of proficiency. And the same way, if you want to get an associate's, you can start out with a technical certificate. What are the benefits of obtaining certificates? They are generally used to enhance as well as refresh. What I mean by enhance is everybody doesn't want to go to school for 4 years. Some people say, hey, I just want to get a trade. I want to get something that I can obtain that will allow me to go straight into the workforce. You could do that with certificates. But on the other side, they're also used as refreshers. There are people that have bachelor's, master's, as well as doctoral degrees that eventually go back to get some kind of certificate as a refresher. If a lot of times people work in a field for 20 years and things may change. Like in a computer science or technology world, you graduate within 5 years, you probably have a totally different type of program or something that come out. You got to stay relevant when it comes to that. And that's why a lot of times people get certificates as well. So let's talk about degrees. There's 4 types of degrees. You have an associate's degree, you have a bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree, and you also have a doctoral degree. Now, you see in the parentheses a lot of different kinds. The AAS is Associate of Arts and Science. The AGS is Associates of General Studies, as well as bachelor's. You got Bachelors of Science, you have Bachelors of Art. With masters, you have Masters of Science, Masters of Education. With doctoral, you have PhD, and you have EDD. But there's a lot of more other ones, though. Those are just what I decided to put there. So what is an associate's degree? An associate degree is a planned sequence of classroom and laboratory experiences at a collegiate level. Associate degrees are generally 2 years. It prepares students for a wide range of job opportunities in various fields. And of course, just like with bachelor's, master's, and doctoral, there are different kinds of associate's degrees. Now, when you start talking about associate's degrees are generally 20 classes in 60 hours. And some of the advantages that students have with getting an associate's degree, first is, one, they might not want to go to school for 4 years, so they can get an associate's degree or go straight into the workforce. Or let's say a student wants to get a bachelor's, but they don't get a scholarship, or they don't have the funds. Generally, associate's degrees are a lot cheaper than bachelor's degrees, and just students can get their basics with their associates, obtaining their associates with the first 60 hours, and then transfer and then go pursue their bachelor's. And just bluntly put, associate's degrees just basically covers all of the basic classes, like your Englishes, your maths, and your psychologies, and things of that nature. A bachelor's degree is a planned sequence of classroom and laboratory experiences as well. It's also known as the undergraduate degree. It generally takes 4 years, 40 classes, or 120 hours. Contrary to popular belief, the bachelor's degree is not field specific. So if you obtain a bachelor's degree, regardless of what bachelor's degree you get, you still may take some science classes, you still may take some classes in computer science, you still may take some classes in communication. And when you obtain a bachelor's degree, half your classes are basics. So I hope that just rung a bell. If you get your associates first, and your associates is pretty much all of your basics, and half your bachelor's degree, if you're just pursuing your bachelor's, half of it are your basics, then what is that saying? Students that start out getting their associates, and they take 2 years to get their associates, and they transfer in 2 more years, they'll eventually obtain their bachelor's degree. So let's talk about master's degree. Now, master's degree, it kind of get field specific. It's known as a graduate degree, and it often takes about 2 years to obtain. And when you start talking about hours, some master's degrees you can get in as little as 30 hours, and some master's degrees actually require a thesis or dissertation. So you might ask yourself, how is it that you can get an associate's 2 years, 60 hours, and half of your bachelor's degree would be 4 years, 4 years of 120 hours, but with a master's degree, I can do in 2 years for 30 hours. Because a lot of the time, when obtaining a master's degree or a doctoral degree, you sometimes have to do research. And in that research, it takes part in everything you have to do as far as with your class time as well. The doctoral degree is an advanced degree or professional degree which demonstrate mastery in a particular subject area. So that is field specific. The great thing about getting your doctoral degree is, in a lot of cases, you will be able to contribute to whatever field you're deciding to work in. And of course, the doctoral degree are the highest degrees. When you start talking about PhDs generally emphasizes analytical research. EDD emphasizes practical studies of leadership, theory, or ethics, or things of that nature. But they all are the highest degrees. With either master's as well as doctoral degrees, you generally have to do research as well as defend your thesis or the paper that you'll have to submit for graduation. When you're getting master or doctoral degrees, you often have to have what's called an advising team. And your advising team, it can consist of 3, 4, maybe 5 people, and you have the lead advisor. And both in your master's and doctoral program, the lead advisor have the final say-so if you get your degree or not, depending on the research as well as your thesis defense. All of those are collective to make sure that, one, you are accurate as in your field of study or whatever you've done research in, as well as to make sure you don't plagiarize and things of that nature, because in most cases, in whatever field you decide to do your thesis or your dissertation will actually be publicized. Now, the benefits of getting your degree is more job opportunities, it's better marketability, it increased earning potential, it is better networking as well as personal growth. Now, remember what I said in the beginning, all of those benefits are true only if you understand the importance of knowing what you want to do for the duration of your life. Because if you get a degree in a field that you don't like, you won't necessarily care about the job opportunities. You won't necessarily care about marketing yourself because you don't want to work in that field. You don't necessarily care about how much you will earn if you don't like the field. You don't necessarily care about networking or the personal growth because you have just received a degree in something that you did not like. Now, I did have some time to think about this. A lot of times people want to talk about salaries, and they want to know how much you make. Now, but I purposely did not include salaries here. Now, what I will do after this presentation is I have some websites that talk about salaries for certificates, associates, bachelor's, master's, as well as doctoral degrees. But salary itself sometimes hinder people from understanding what they want to do. I do not want anybody to look at a salary and say, hey, I want to do that because they make a lot of money doing that. when you want to talk about or think about what you want to do for the duration of your life, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, will I do it for free? If you will not do it for free, then if you do it for money, eventually you'll grow tired and you'll get what's called compassion exhaustion. And you'll get exhausted by doing things that you pretty much think that you want to do. So from this, as you go forward and go to different booths and ask colleges about things, from this presentation, there's a few things that I would like for you to know. I would like for you to take from this. If you don't know what you want to do, please do your research. And I'm not just talking about asking somebody in your immediate circle. I'm talking about asking somebody or talking to somebody that's in the field that you would like to be in. If the field you want to be in does not require a doctoral or master's or bachelor's degree, then you might want to consider ways that you can, things that you can do in order to get there faster. Get the certificates. And if you decide to go back to get a degree, if you get a certificate, some of the classes may work towards your associates or may work towards your bachelor's and things of that nature. Don't rush into anything. Take your time. Ask yourself, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? Identify that and then talk to somebody about the next steps that you need to do. Know what you need to do to get there. And once you identify what you need to do to get there, go ahead and write out your goals and you work towards your goals. And if you're clueless, then you can take personal assessment tests and things of that nature. And one thing that I want to say when you start talking about achieving your goals, a lot of times people say the number one goal in college is to get a degree. I beg to differ. The number one goal in college should always be for you to get all the knowledge and understanding that you can. And if every class that you take, you maximize your level of knowledge, the benefit of that will always be for you to obtain a degree. You do not want to get a degree and not be able to articulate or have a conversation about the field or degree that you are in. But if you gain knowledge, and in gaining all of your knowledge, your degree will come. With that, thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your patience. Understand what you want to do. Take time, talk to yourself, talk to people about what you want to do. Identify that, and then write out your goals to what you need to do to get there. If you can get there with a certificate of proficiency, start there. If you can get there with a technical certificate, start there. If you can get there with just an associate's degree, go ahead and start there. You can get an associate's degree, start at a job, and your job will actually pay for you to get your undergraduate or your bachelor's degree. You can get your bachelor's degree and start working and work for an employer that'll possibly pay for you to get your master's degree. Now, I don't know about too many employers that's paying for doctoral degrees, but all in all, you will have the opportunity to do exactly what you want to do and to do exactly what you need to do. What I will do now, I'll stay around for if anybody have any questions, but I also would like to post the link just in case somebody want to see a little bit about some salaries that are possible out there. With that, thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your patience. Good luck and have a good day.
You too.